Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai. Spectacle today will be looking into political trends that has happened in the country, Nigeria. Of course, we have a lot of trends about politics going on in the country right now, and we wish to have a brief look into it, especially as regards Akpabio's dilemma and the constitutional framework to justify the stand as a senator or as a minister. And we'll be talking also about Governor Makinde's election that have been annulled and the prospect of his victory. Also, we'll also be looking into Kogi and Bayelsa election that is coming soon on the 16th of this month. I am your host, Daniel Atai, and welcome to Spectacle. Stay tuned. Any moment from now, we'll be with you.
The issue here we have to begin to look at is that at the time of independence, I don't know if there was a trajectory to where we are going to.
But how could it be that credible, free and fair under manual conduct of election?
That is where our problem lies, and that is why people are now saying that, advising that we should move, that the world has gone into digital. We should move from the manual to the digital.
We cannot keep doing same thing and expecting a different result.
The only way you create jobs from your ministry is that you have to encourage local content.
If you look at the profile of Sally Mama,
there is a caveat in this leave given to him. He should seek medical help if he's fine.
Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. Welcome back. We are looking at the trends as it happens in the country Nigeria. And with me in the studio to analyze, to look into the political analysis is Comrade Onazi Alaska.
It's a pleasure.
You're welcome to Spectacle. He's a columnist and a writer. And I have Silvano Zokpe, Esquire, our usual guest, an in-house guest who is a political analyst and a columnist as well. Welcome to Spectacle.
It's always my pleasure to be
welcome.
with you.
Alaska, you're welcome.
A pleasure.
Now, the program is open for audience to participate, and the numbers are already displayed on the screen. And for the sake of the vision impaired, you have to call in 081 3701 5949 or 070 54327616. We're starting from Akpabio. What is a constitutional, dilemma declaring him winner of the election, of the senatorial election, while he's already a minister? Though there is one local government, his own very local government, a rerun was declared there in his local government, which will still be, will still ascertain whether he would win or not. And like I said, calls have started coming in, but we will not take any call until our analysts have, made little contribution into this particular factor. I will start with you, Comrade Silvanos. The situation now of Akpabio, a current minister, and the court have declared a kind of him victorious.
No, they declared a rerun.
A rerun in one local government. And do you think he will win? And if he wins, is he going to resign as a minister to go to be a senator?
This has exposed another lacuna in our laws. You know that law is dynamic, it grows with the human beings. Yeah. It grows with us, it grows with the society. Just like the case of Kogi. when the governor died while election was being collated.
Yes.
A situation that our constitution never contemplated.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, I think that is a settled principle of law that it does not take retrospective effect. Akpabio, what the law contemplated in section 166, subsection 1, paragraph F of the 1999 Constitution as amended, is that before you contest election as a senator, you must have, if you are a minister or you are a public servant, you must have resigned before you contest election as a senator or a member of the House of National Assembly. You must have resigned from such position 30 days to the election. And this particular run holding in one local government will come up within 90 days. The issue now is whether Akpabio is expected to resign to go into that election again, or the resignation before the first election of 23rd February takes effect. And I think that in the eyes of the law, Akpabio, this rerun is an appendage of the election of 23rd February, and he is not expected to resign before going into it. If you say he's expected, the law does not see his post-election status, which was something that came after the election had been determined and the winner declared in the person of Senator Christopher Akpabio. But this rerun is just like completing that election, and the law takes the due notice of his status ante the election of 23rd February, which is Akpabio that was not a minister and Akpabio that was not in the Senate, because the Senate had its validatory session before that election.
Yes.
So bringing that issue of qualification into the rerun separates the rerun from the main election, and it ought not to be so.
Well, on the course of the program, we'll call other, I think other people will reach us to see whether they disagree with your stand from the legal provision, but I don't know that he resigned before he went into the election, and the election, the INEC declared a winner for the PDP. He lost, and he became a minister, and subsequently the appellate court have said he is to have a rerun in his local government. Does he have to resign again when he's already a minister, since it is not a fresh election? It is not a fresh election, it is a rerun. The law stipulates a fresh election. It didn't say a rerun election, and he obliged to the framework of the law. He resigned then, and he lost out according to INEC verdict and electoral declaration. But the court is saying that there are anomalies, irregularities in the election. Therefore, in one local government, a rerun is declared. Do you think that he should still resign his appointment as a minister?
The only burden, legal burden on Akpabio is to fulfill section 147 subsection 4
that
of
is
the
to
1999
resign.
Constitution, to resign when he has been declared the senator, because that
Yes.
section forbids you
Good.
to be a senator or a House of Rep member and be a minister.
Okay, good. That means
but prior to the election,
Yes.
he can go into it. But then, why I say there is a clash of interest, so our constitution never contemplated such. If we interpret provisions and situations such as this, we have recourse to mischief rule of interpretation. What we call mischief rule of interpretation in the Constitution, every particular section of the Constitution was created to prevent something, an anomaly. Then before you interpret it, what anomaly was that section 166 subsection 1 paragraph AF created to prevent? It was created to prevent a serving executive member from contesting election because he might have an undue advantage over the other person.
Even governors, they could be incumbent and still contest election. And in this case, it is not a fresh contest, but a rerun. So, Alaska Onazi, in the situation like this, what would you advise the electoral bodies or our legal framework to look into? Is resignation, or he should sit there as a minister and go for the rerun, since it is not a fresh election?
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
I think we'll have to allow the law take its course.
Exactly.
By allowing what the law has stated. For me, I feel that the rerun should take place.
Okay.
He should embark on the rerun as been declared, as the election has been declared.
And not for him to resign.
Not for him to resign.
Okay. Because he resigned initially when it was a fresh...
resign. He was a senator and there was a validatory session. So
okay.
he was rightly qualified for that election.
Yes.
And you don't qualify 2 times for one election. You understand? He was qualified then. And this election is there's what we call corollary in law. It's an appendage. It's summed with that initial election.
You know, we'll be hearing subsequently from other analysts who may want to call in to address the situation, and then we'll move on to the next trending issue, which is the issue of Governor Makinde. The Court of Appeal yesterday, sitting in Oyo State, have I think the day before yesterday, have annulled the election of Governor Makinde and declared a rerun. And we are as well waiting for the adjudication of the final, verdict. This is a kind of war between PDP and APC in faraway Oyo State. What would you want to think about Oyo State and this particular annulment?
We always, in Nigerian democratic
the APC
system,
candidate, is it Adebayo, Adelabu, he said he will be governor. And
this is an issue created by our political setting.
Okay.
While election had come and gone through the ballot, we have so many others jostling through the legal system, trying to manipulate technicalities, look for a loophole, and come back to the government house through the back door, even when the will of the people overwhelmingly.
But when you say through the back door, are you saying that the legal framework have lacuna where
there are lapses? Even Supreme Court has agreed that they are not infallible. They make mistakes, and there are lawyers who manipulate these errors to bankroll candidates into power. But the appeal court yesterday was very emphatic in their judgment.
Yes.
The day before yesterday, so to speak.
They said the APC was not given fair hearing.
What they said, they nullified the election.
Yes.
The election, there were irregularities. It was marked by irregularities. But they left Makinde as the governor of the state. No rerun. They didn't declare the APC candidate winner. So this kind of judgment for that
no rerun.
Nothing was declared. Though the court said they don't have the right to remove him as governor, as a 33 days of 180 days of hearing the case has elapsed.
At the tribunal.
From the tribunal to the Court of Appeal.
No, the tribunal have 180 days. Yeah.
That was what they said. The tribunal went, as in they went outside the 180 days.
No. The tribunal didn't go outside the 180 days. The tribunal gave their verdict within the 180 days. And the appellate court, the appeal court, substantiate that there are areas where the tribunal ought to have looked into, not to give verdict based on evidence without giving fair hearing to the APC candidate and the APC as a party. So it is on that ground of fair hearing that they annul his election. Now, would you want to say that our democracy needs a kind of packaging to suit the Nigerian populace or system?
Yes. Although the common belief held by the electorate is that parties should practice what they promise or what they preach, so to say. But it's unfortunate that the internal democracy of political parties don't seem to be working towards building democracy in Nigeria. So to say, the power of party representatives are being restricted with the internal democracy and then regulations within the party
So what you are saying is that parties don't follow their ideology when it comes to governance.
Yeah, they don't follow their ideology. They don't really practice what they preach.
Okay,
understand? And that is why you see that it's quite difficult. The electorate find it difficult to enjoy the dividends of democracy in the country.
Okay, so you are advising now that the judiciary and the various arms and forms of government should do more in terms of ethical conduct within their political parties.
Exactly.
Now, what will you say about the issue of Governor Makinde being, the election of Governor Makinde as governor annulled?
The case of Governor Makinde is a clear case of the lacuna that has existed between the constitution and the law and governance in the country.
Yeah. In a nutshell, Governor Makinde, do you see him, coming back as governor? Since my friend here said that he was not removed, he was only being annulled.
The issue of coming back does not arise because what the court said was the court nullified the election. Okay. But he was not removed.
And he said, "I'm still the governor."
They did not order for a rerun. They did not declare his office vacant. They did not order, and there was no consequential order.
So, what would you call that in law?
That's what I'm telling you. That they have further created confusion. How can you say this election is not properly? It was marred by irregularities and failed to give a consequential order? We call it consequential order in law. Is what should take effect. Or this judgment now, what is the end product? The court did not tell us. All they said was that they had no right to remove Makinde as the governor of the state, though the election was marred by irregularities. And the interpretation of that is that the judiciary now allows people whose elections are marred, fraught with irregularities. And that is not good for our democracy and the judicial processes in the country.
So in a situation like this, it means the judiciary is not...
It's a ground for appeal. Since it's a ground for appeal, I will advise for the purposes of getting the laws strengthened by the APC and laying a robust precedence for the upcoming, younger generation of lawyers, they should approach the Supreme Court for interpretation of the judgment.
Okay.
And sought for a consequential order. Since the Court of Appeal has recognized that the election was fraught with irregularities, let the Supreme Court give order by declaring their candidates the winner. I think the APC was the Appeal Court was trying to play hide and seek game. If you are saying the election is nullified, be bold enough to declare the office vacant or order for a rerun election. But you did not do such. You nullified the election and allowed the person to continue as governor.
So in a situation like this, there is no place in law.
Only appeal can solve it. When the court gives their final verdict, you have nothing to do except to appeal.
But they didn't remove him.
That is it. That's why they should appeal. That since the Court of Appeal has accepted...
Now, Onazi, do you think that the Nigerian judiciary is up to its game?
Oh...
I think
I'm not satisfied with the effort of the Nigerian judiciary.
Yeah.
Particularly the tribunal, just like my discussant and rightly said, they've only succeeded in creating confusion because they've left us with no tangible and distinct conclusion solution to the problem, because they've nullified the elections without telling us what to do or
who is the governor, or whether there should be a rerun.
Yes, I think that what they've done is to avail the APC the chance to seek appeal.
Okay, to seek appeal. Okay. If it is on the chance to seek appeal, I see reasons to that, because according to the reasons, the reason gave for their annulment was that the APC was never given fair hearing, and that the tribunal just gave, concluded on the evidence presented by the PDP and their candidate Makinde to just give him the victory. And in court, in the law court, you people who knows the legal term said there should be fair hearing to the opponent before anything at all, any allegation should be given fair hearing. The accused must be given a fair hearing, and that wasn't done. Therefore, it was a no for the Supreme Court to come and interpret further. And I was asking you that in the situation like this, it means the court is trying. If you said they couldn't say that another governor should be installed or declare a rerun, it means the issue of fair hearing could be interpreted at the Supreme Court, isn't it?
The issue of fair hearing, we said that they've only succeeded in creating confusion because
I see no confusion there.
There is confusion. There is no way you give such judgment, you do not give solution. This is just causing confusion.
It is a continuation. They could have said, we are returning this case to the tribunal. But the days of the tribunal have elapsed. The 180 days have elapsed.
They did say that.
Yes.
They said that their hands are tied because the
days of the
tribunal, which is 180, has been elapsed.
Yes.
And then, but that they don't have the power to remove him.
Yes, and therefore they have to go to Supreme Court to give fair hearing to the APC. So it is left for the APC to justify.
Why? I don't understand. I have not really read the length and breadth of the judgment.
Let me.
I don't know what they mean by they don't have rights to remove him as
governor. Because they said that the APC and the candidate Adelabo was not or were not given fair hearing. They could not to substantiate their evidence. They only worked on the evidence presented by PDP and the candidate Makinde and declared him winner. And that happened within 180 days frame, which is the stipulated time for tribunal.
That's
where their hands are tied is that they wouldn't give this very verdict, this very case ought to continue in the tribunal. But since the tribunal elapsed its date and there is a lacuna for not giving fair hearing to APC and the candidate, therefore they will say that the election of Governor Makinde was null and void.
If election is null and void, the person vacates office. Yes. That's what we are saying. And their hands can never be tied. Every strata of the court, the High Court, the Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court can remove a governor. So this is where politics comes in. What is really the import of this judgment?
Do you think it's witch hunting?
That's what is the import of the judgment. You see, that's what we are saying. If any issue pertaining to fair hearing is what we call the person has entered a conditional appearance. So if the person has
so you are suggesting that Makinde should be removed?
I am not saying he should be removed. I am saying the judgment is just like an inconclusive election that did not reach its desired destination. What exactly has that judgment brought? As in, what is the import of the judgment?
We'll come to that.
It has solved no problem.
After this short break, we will be deliberating on the issue of Kogi State and the Bayelsa election. Please stay with us.
The issue here we have to begin to look at is that at the time of independence, I don't know if there was a trajectory to where we are going to.
But how could it be that credible, free and fair under manual conduct of election?
That is where our problem lies, and that is why people are now saying that, advising that we should move, that the world has gone into digital. We should move from the manual to the digital.
We cannot keep doing same thing and expecting a different result.
The only way you create jobs from your ministry is that you have to encourage local content.
If you look at the profile of Salimama,
there is a caveat in this leave given to him. He should seek medical help if he's fine.
Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. Welcome back. We did say that this is a spectacle, and we are talking about political trends from Akpabio, the dilemma of the constitutional framework, whether Akpabio should be a senator or a minister, should resign first to go and recontest the rerun or not. What is the take of our constitution and our legal framework to that effect? We also said, looking at Makinde, the court have nullified his election, yet he is still the governor. He wasn't removed and the rerun wasn't declared. What is your take? You can join us right now. We are going into Kogi election and Bayelsa election. And there is no doubt we are seeing a lot of aggression. And analysts with me in the studio, Silvano Zokpe and Onazi Atta, they are doing justice to these various topics. And you can as well join us on 0813-701-5949 or 07054327616. Now, what you see, Kogi election, you see crisis between the PDP and the APC. Yahaya Bello said he's going to win. Yahaya Bello of recent have gotten a new deputy governor in the person of Onoja, and the election is coming on the 16th of this very month. I think the same day with Bayelsa. Yes. Yeah, the same day with Bayelsa. Do you see any tug of war coming for this election, and what would you advise?
I think the war have already started.
Okay.
Because a few days ago, I think the Social Democratic Party governorship aspirant.
Okay, Natasha.
Yes, Natasha alleged that the incumbent governor, the APC candidate, Governor Yahaya Bello, was responsible for the burning down of their their secretariat, the state secretariat. And
all right, somebody is calling in. I think, hold on there, I will take on you again. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Are you calling to...
Hi. Yeah, I'm calling to contribute to your discussion.
All right. Your name and where you are calling from, sir?
This is Barry calling from Canada.
From where, sir?
From Canada.
All right, sir. All right, sir. You are free to contribute, sir.
Yeah. I think what actually made me to call is the claim that the appeal court annulled the election. That is not true. The appeal court annulled the judgment of the tribunal, not the election.
Okay, you are talking on the case of Makinde.
Yeah.
Okay.
The appeal court annulled the judgment of the tribunal on the basis that the evidence of the petitioner was not evaluated.
All right.
And as a result, they concluded that he wasn't given fair hearing.
Yes.
And they said they nullified the judgment of the tribunal, not the election. They don't have any basis to annul the election because there is the evidence that was not evaluated that we are going to rely on to nullify an election. So that's a difficult decision for them to make.
Good. Good.
So that is what I just want to correct, so that you guys know that the election wasn't nullified, rather the judgment of the tribunal was nullified.
All right. Thank you very much for that wonderful take. And we wish that you reframe your name again. You say you are calling from Canada.
Darren.
All right. Thank you, Dio. Thank you very much for that wonderful contribution. Gentlemen, you heard him. He said that the election wasn't nullified, but the judgment of the tribunal, since they have elapsed the 180 days, the judgment was nullified so that the Supreme Court can interpret. You heard him right.
he made sense because
okay, Dari Adebayo.
I was at loss how the court will nullify somebody's judgment and still allow the person to continue. Okay. It breeds lawlessness and anarchy, and I couldn't reconcile the law and that decision of the court. But thanks to him for this clarification. Yes. It's timely. And if this is it, then the Court of Appeal is justified. Okay. It now behoves on the Supreme Court, which is the court of finality in the country's judicial hierarchy, to decide what happens.
All right. Anyway, Kogi election, he said already that the trouble has begun, and there is an accusation and counter-accusation. Do you think Bello will belittle or condescend himself to destroying a secretariat of the SDP? We have just 2 minutes left. You have 1 minute to answer that, and then I'll have 1 minute to conclude it.
The issue is that Barrister Natasha Akpoti is a strong woman of will, and a politician who knows her onions. Is from the same place with Yahaya Bello. Okay, and the Okene people believe that she has been planted by the PDP to split the election of the Ibira people. Because whether you like it or not, the election has been tribalized.
All right, your last take, Barrister Silvanus, thank you for the wonderful take. In 30 seconds, your last take. Do you see Governor Bello winning the election, or Wada of the PDP winning the election?
I think I see Bello winning the election. Coming back in with the power of incumbency. Okay. And then the might.
The federal might.
The federal might.
All right, that is your own assertion, though. That is where Spectacle will stop today on Television Nigerian. We are having a call coming in, but unfortunately we cannot take this call anymore. We are out of time. I can see Kenneth Ankpa calling from Gwagwalada here, but then I'm sorry, we cannot take that call anymore. This is where we stop, and stay tuned with us for tomorrow. We'll bring another episode of Spectacle. Thanks for watching. I've been your host, Daniel Atai. Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai.